The snow fell softly over the ruined village of Hikari Ridge, where once the laughter of the foxkin echoed through the pine-covered slopes. Now silence ruled, broken only by the sound of a small girl's trembling sobs. "Neva, I'm hungry," whispered Liri, her fox ears drooping low against her tangled hair. Her once golden tail had lost its luster, dulled by weeks of cold and starvation. The younger sister sat wrapped in a shredded blanket, her breath forming mist in the air. Neva, the elder of the two, crouched beside her, brushing a hand through her sibling's hair. Her own eyes, once a bright amber, now glimmered with fatigue and quiet resolve. "I know, little one," she murmured. "Just a little longer. I'll find something." But the truth was cruel. There was nothing left to find. The forest had been hunted bare since the human empire expanded their borders. The fox-kin, once proud spirit folk of the mountains, had been driven out, some captured, others killed, the rest scattered into hiding. Neva rose, her tail flicking nervously as she scanned the snow-cloaked valley. In the distance, faint trails of smoke rose from the human town of Orenvale, a place no foxkin dared to approach. To them, humans were not merely enemies. They were slavers, traders of rare bloodlines and exotic creatures. Yet Liri's ribs showed through her skin. Another night like this, and her heart might simply stop. Neva's chest tightened. She knew what she had to do. By dusk, Neva wrapped her cloak tight and hid her ears beneath the hood. "Stay here," she whispered to Liri, who clutched her arm weakly. "I'll bring food. I promise." "Don't go to the humans," Liri pleaded, tears filling her bright eyes. "They'll hurt you like they did Mother." "I'll be careful," Neva said, forcing a small smile. "Sleep now." When Liri finally drifted into shallow sleep, Neva stepped into the storm. Each step toward the human city felt like walking deeper into betrayal. The scent of iron and smoke grew stronger as she neared Orenvale's outskirts, where torches flickered and laughter echoed from taverns. She passed through the gate, heart pounding. Men and women bustled through the narrow streets, faces red from drink and cold. She kept her hood low, her tail bound under her cloak. The scent of roasted meat reached her, and her stomach twisted painfully. Her eyes darted toward a bakery where a man was locking up for the night. A few loaves remained on the counter inside. For a fleeting moment, she considered stealing, but she knew the punishment if she was caught would be death. Then across the street she saw a wooden sign, "Traders welcome, rare goods bought and sold." Her breath caught. Inside, the warm light revealed shelves of crystals, talismans and cages. Some held winged sprites, others fox pelts, and worse. Behind the counter stood a man in a long brown coat, his eyes sharp and calculating. Neva stepped inside. The man looked her up and down. "You're far from home, girl," he said in a voice like gravel. "What brings you here?" Her voice shook. I need food." He smirked. "Many do. What do you have to trade?" Her trembling hands lifted her hood slightly. The tips of her fox ears glowed faintly in the light. The man's eyes widened. "Ah," he breathed. "A foxkin. Rare these days. And foolish to walk into a human shop." "I'll make a deal," she said quickly. "Give me food. Enough for my sister to live through winter. I'll work for you." "Work?" he said, amused. "You mean you'll sell yourself? As property?" Her throat tightened. "If that's what it takes." The man leaned forward, studying her face. "You're brave, I'll give you that. Beautiful too. The nobles would pay well to have a foxkin servant. But I'm no slaver. I can offer coin and food for your service. You'll stay here, tend to my shop, and I'll see you fed." Neva closed her eyes, tears forming. Just promise me. My sister will never go hungry." He nodded. "Bring her here and she'll be safe." The following morning, Neva returned to their cave with a satchel of bread, dried meat, and warm blankets. Liri's eyes widened at the sight, but her joy faded when she saw Neva's expression. "What did you do?" she whispered. "I made a trade," Neva said softly, kneeling beside her. "You'll have food now. Shelter. But you must come with me." "No." Liri grabbed her hand desperately. "You promised we'd stay free. We're fox-kin, not slaves." Neva smiled through her tears. "Freedom doesn't matter if you're dead, little one." Liri shook her head, crying harder. "Then I'll die with you." But Neva pulled her into a tight embrace. "No. You'll live. You'll grow strong. One day you'll find our people again. Tell them what we lost. And what we still have." That night, they walked together toward Orenvale. Liri clung to her sister's cloak the entire way, silent but shaking. When they reached the shop, the man greeted them with a nod and handed Liri a loaf of bread. The child devoured it, tears streaming down her cheeks. Neva turned away, unable to watch. As dawn painted the streets gold, Neva stood by the doorway, the trader marking her contract on parchment. She felt the weight of the chain he placed around her wrist, a symbol of servitude. Yet inside she felt strangely calm. Her sister would live. Liri's tiny voice broke the silence. "I'll come back for you." Neva turned and smiled, her eyes shining like amber fire in the morning light. "I know you will." The door closed behind her as the wind carried the first warmth of spring through the valley, a whisper of hope in a world that had forgotten mercy. Liri stayed at the edge of the shop, clutching the loaf of bread in her trembling hands. She didn't understand why her sister smiled when her wrists were bound, or why the man called it a contract. All she knew was that Neva was leaving her again. "Eat," Neva whispered gently. "You have to be strong for me now." "But I don't want food without you," Liri cried, her voice breaking. Neva knelt, brushing her thumb across her sister's cheek, wiping away the tears. "One day you'll find the other fox-kin. You'll tell them how we survived. That's your promise to me." The trader cleared his throat impatiently, the chain glinting in his hand. Neva stood tall, her eyes defiant though her heart trembled. "Remember, Liri," she said, her voice steady. "No cage can hold a fox forever." Then the door closed. Liri pressed her small hands against the window as her sister disappeared into the back room. She could see only a flicker of Neva's golden tail before the lantern light dimmed. That night, Liri lay awake by the fire the man had built for her, clutching Neva's scarf to her chest. The scent of her sister lingered, wild, warm, free. She whispered to the flames, "I'll come back for you. I promise." Years later, travelers spoke of a fox-kin rebellion in the northern mountains. Among them, a young girl with blazing gold eyes led the charge, swift as lightning, fierce as the storm. Some said she carried a single iron bracelet, broken clean in two. And when the fires rose against the empire, a whisper spread through the wind, soft and sure. "No cage can hold a fox forever."